The top platform, but Hungrybox got one opening.
Test, test. Padres suck. Dodgers up 5-0. Get f***ed. Okay.
The One Piece! The One Piece is real!
I'll do a couple takes for you.
The One Piece! The One Piece is real!
Try doing it lower too.
The One Piece! The One Piece is real!
Welcome to Fourside Fights, featuring Fendrick Lamar, Chroma 09, DarkGenex, and The Cheat.
Hello, citizens of Fourside. I'm Jackzilla, and I know, number one, I will survive the Mango Nation loyalty purges after the Big House 10 Grand Finals. Number two, Leffen bringing back Flop American is good and just. Number three, a space-themed summit needs a Star Trek sketch or it's fraudulent. And number four, HBox manufactured consent. There was no tournament organizer who told him the wrong start time on Sunday. Let's go to each side. Why do you think HBox was late to Sunday? Do you think this TO existed? Fendy?
No. I think he was late because he was probably getting a $17 Eggs Benedict at some nearby restaurant, thought he was running late, and then all of a sudden shows up. He's like, oh, I'm a Hungrybox. I can do what I want.
Cool. Chroma, what do you think?
You know, you can't give it to H-ISIS, but I do have to say, I've seen Hungrybox at work at these tournaments. He asks anybody around what the schedule is. He asked me at some tournaments. I wasn't TOing. I was barely even alive. He possibly could have asked somebody and thought that was the head TO.
DarkGenex.
I think the Mango Nation's got some shooters and an op told him the wrong time on purpose to throw the tournament for him.
I love this. The Cheat.
Listen, TO's lost the war this weekend, so what's one more L? Misinforming HBox was intentional, and Jungle Guy would have Tanya Harding him if he thought he could get away with it.
Yeah, listen, he's been on this show, and the grime that he described was beyond my wildest comprehension. Welcome to Fourside Fights. We've got four outstanding guests today who are going to act as pundits as I throw topic after topic at them. They'll give their takes. If they're entertaining or interesting, I'll give them points. If they're boring, repetitive, or patently unreasonable, I'll subtract points from them. And of course, I can mute any contestant at any time for any reason. It's just annoying because I have to do like 2 clicks on Discord. One day I'll automate it, and then I will mute them so much more. The player with the most points at the end is our winner. They get to commentate as the 3 losers take it to Fourside in a free-for-all so we can see exactly how their punditry translates to Melee. Let's get started with our first topic. Now, there's something that feels very sacred about Amsa's win, right? As he's going getting his last 0 to death, I'm thinking to myself, what's the Fourside Fights topic on this? And then I thought to myself, you're a dirty asshole to be thinking of content while this is happening. It's wrong to desecrate that win with our silly show with its silly points, but we're going to do it anyways. For years, whenever Amsa performs well, the chorus sings out. Now, surely people will learn the matchup. Is Amsa just too good? Is Hugs right that this line of questioning is top tier privilege incarnate? Will Amsa always put the matchup 2 days ahead for every 1 day that people put into it around him? Let's start off with our resident Sopo, DarkGenex. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I think that the people who would have worked on the Amsa matchup would continue working on it anyway, and the people who refused to work on it, the Fox Spacey Dittoers, the Mango Zane Fridayers, they're not going to work on the matchup anyway. I think Amsa will continue to remain ahead, and people will continue to remain behind, because people do not like practicing against mid-tiers or acknowledging they exist.
Oh, they don't even like it. That's kind of true. It's like, why should I pretend that your character is good, even while I'm losing to it?
Exactly.
Anybody else got a thought?
To put something in perspective here, I think Justin is right on a lot of these things. The Amsa winning the tournament with Yoshi is obviously a huge accomplishment, no doubt. I want to point out that the next highest placing Yoshi was 97. So I don't think that there is enough of a reason for anybody to dedicate themselves to a Yoshi matchup in the same way that they haven't been dedicating themselves to Pikachu for Act for a long time. Same thing even with Hungrybox. We saw the golden era of fluffing in 2015, 16, 17. But then since then, basically since Armada retired, nobody has come forth and filled that gap, and nobody is grinding Fox Puff, Marth Puff in the same way. Even though Hungrybox is still out here getting top 5 at every single major that he enters. So no, I don't think anybody is going to put in extra iota of work against Yoshi, because it also has to have a very specific bracket path, which again, you have a 1 in 8, 1 in 4, 1 in 2 chance of getting AMSA in any of those rounds. So no.
Okay, we got to know. Cheat, Chroma, what do you think? Somebody dive in here.
I do think that AMSA is cranking it up a notch in a way that will like firmly cement him among this sort of like rock, paper, scissors game that is happening among the top, few people. Killing off a grab like that, that's new tricks. Like, we haven't seen that efficiency in the punish game from a Yoshi ever, and that's very scary to me. But I do have to come to the defense of Axe here a little bit, I think. Like, people have been doing new Pikachu stuff. It's not just an Axe slump that's happening here.
Chroma, what do you got?
I can't see anything yet, but I'm ready to go. You are all forgetting something very important. AMSA is very powerful, and the only person who can and has beaten AMSA in the past is AMSA. The reason he does so well at these summits, he practices with everybody. Day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4, they're ready. And that's the point. They'll come to AMSA to practice. Top players, as they become less afraid of H-God, as they become less afraid of J-Beast, they're going to start practicing against AMSA again, and AMSA will say, yes, that sounds good, and he'll lose again in the short term, and then he will grow more powerful as he does every single time we do this cycle. I come to you, Jack, because I have sinned. I have doubted AMSA many, many times over the last 10 years.
Do you think it's because of your top player privilege?
Yeah, that's right.
Or top tier privilege, excuse me, as a fellow Fox player. Do you think your foxness blinded you to the truth of Yoshi?
I do believe that there was a world in my mind where I thought all I have to do is drill and up air, and I can kill this character and I'm going to be fine. I'm wrong. Every time I've thought all Sheik does is this and all Peach does is this, or all this character does is that, Ice Climbers have never had a chance versus Yoshi. I'm so sorry.
I will say, and I'll put this out to the group, I don't know that I saw in Mango drilling that much, except in the second to last game when he started cooking Yoshi. Right?
He's better than me. I'm not going to say anything. He's better than me.
I think he was doing that a lot.
Yeah, when he was winning, and then he stopped when in the games that he was losing. I was like, this doesn't feel like. But there was a lot of SDI going on.
It's the funny thing about Mango, right?
He gets
everyone perceives that he plays a matchup the wrong way, and so you have a chance. And I think people use that to kind of Mickey Mousify AMSA's win. Now he's the GOAT.
I think Sunsei was playing better than Mango against AMSA was. I think Sunsei was straight up playing better than Mango against AMSA.
He was super leffin'.
That might be true.
Yeah, and it just came down to like the 3 games that AMSA won were all like last stock, last hit. Like Sunsei was very, very close to winning that set, and I think that Mango, quote unquote, playing the matchup correctly. I also don't think that any Fox plays it like perfectly correctly or even close to that. I just think that Sunsei was like the closest that we've seen in a long time. And if a couple breaks go a different way, then I think it's actually Sunsei and Mango in grand finals, and then Mango just wins the whole tournament. But I think that that's a huge thing. And I also think AMSA's never been a guy that's been stingy to play with anybody. He'll play with anyone. He'll play any matchup. We saw him doing a bunch of best of 3s and best of 5s when he was with Nez, and he was just whomping everyone.
So this brings in like a larger question that I want to bring up. Okay, this is our second topic. Years ago, Lod claimed that Yoshi was Peach 2.0. What was he cooking, right? And was he right? AMSA talked about it on Radio Melee a little bit, but I want to hear the 4 Yoshi experts here take a crack at the question too. How strong is Yoshi? Is there a world where AMSA actually enters? There's been many times this has happened. Oh, Puff isn't good enough. Oh, Peach isn't good enough. And then the best player in the world are rocking oftentimes solo Puff, solo Peach. Is solo Yoshi up there and it just needed an AMSA?
I think so. I'm going to say it. It's weird to say because we've always had this preconceived notion of Yoshi as this goofy, character. But I think that Juan seems to be back on his bullshit in the Peach matchup. And you can dodge Juan, but I don't really think AMSA needs to dodge anyone. I don't think he needs bracket luck. And if that's the measure that we care about, AMSA just needs a really good day. And that means Yoshi just needs to be fucking cooking.
That's categorically false. He would get dumpstered by any of the top Falcons if he had to play SJ, if he had to play Wizzy. He would get dumpstered by any of the top Peaches if he had to play Lottie, if he had to play Trip. Just absolutely incorrect.
How many points are you
this
willing to
is great.
bet points on him versus any of the people you just listed? And then next time you come on the
I would
show,
put all my
that'll be your
points-
starting points.
I would be all my points on 2-to-1 odds, SJ versus AMSA.
Okay, I'm gonna mark you down for 16.
2J versus AMSA.
Yeah, I'm marking you down for 16. If you ever return to Fourside Fights, you're gonna owe this prediction as either a yes or no of how many.
Yeah,
I'll bet
that's
you
just
that.
He beat Wizzy a week ago. I know it's not 100% Wizzy. Which, if you're admitting that, you're admitting that I'm goated in my summit picks anyway. But he just did it.
Congrats, he has a Mickey Mouse win over Wizzy, who's been.
I win
for
either
7
way. I can't lose here, Fendy.
All right, so I should probably address the mechanics of this. Yoshi is Peach 2.0. Peach gets to double jump cancel in the air. Yoshi gets armor while they do it. Peach gets to power shield. Yoshi gets a parry. Can't shield grab. Down smash. Both very good. Unfortunately, though, Lod is smoking crack, and the Sheik mains are also smoking crack. I have to do wellness checks on every single Sheik main that I know after J Beast does not win a major. Are we going to really think that J-Moo can't win a major? This is insanity. AMSA pulls in a miracle run one time. Only Yoshi who can conceivably do it. Legend of the game. And we're all like, yeah, no, Yoshi's 5, Sheik's 6. Let's get a hold of ourselves here. This is absolute insanity. Put the Peaches back in those brackets.
What does the scoreboard say? Sheik's had 20 years of at-bats. How many at-bats has
Sheiks
AMSA
aren't
seriously
loyal.
had?
Sheiks aren't loyal people. They either go the Peach way or the Marth and Fox way, and they're smart. That's a good thing to do. There was that one year in the MPGR, everyone mained 4 characters. You had Pop here with Samus and Luigi. That is a very valuable way to play the game. AMSA, by nature of who he is character locked. And that's something that we forget about.
DarkGenex, I'm
smart
give you
enough
one
Sheik
chance
win
to
a major.
participate here and close out this topic. I can't hear a word you're saying. Can other people?
No.
I've been muted this entire time. I'm actually a dumbass. Okay,
sorry,
the last couple of times, you're good. The last couple of times that AMSA played LOD, AMSA has won every single time. The last couple of times that AMSA has played Top Falcon, he has won every single time. His consistent losses or quote unquote bad losses recently would have been to Foxes. I don't think it's a matchup thing. I think that it is a player by player thing. And they're the players who regularly practice against Yoshi. We talked about Sunsei earlier. Sunsei regularly plays against Mono, Moki's roommate. He actually gets Yoshi experience. A lot of the top players, like we said before, don't actually play against Yoshi unless they need to play against AMSA.
Dark
wait
Dex,
for
you
my
gotta bring up
points.
the one I see.
I'll wait for my points.
For what?
The
For
bet.
Wizard Rope?
For the wager.
Oh, okay. I hear you. Oh, it's
Yeah,
you versus Fendy.
Yeah,
You want to
yeah,
do it that way? Yeah. I
Yeah.
can do it that way. I
Sure.
was doing
We
it
have
versus
to
the
play
house
right now.
because I've got unlimited points to gamble. All right, topic 3. Topic 3. A lot has been said on social media about the big house's seating both before and after the events. Were the seating complaints valid? Was Mango vindicated, or is this all cum hoc ergo propter hoc? Confirmation bias. Let's start with DarkGenex.
I think there were plenty of, and no offense to anyone who did any of the seating. I think there were plenty of egregious things about the seating itself. I think Leffen being seated 5th after entering virtually nothing the entire year, while J-Mook was seated 6th, having incredible results. Mango seated 7th was also insane. I mean, Lost City didn't count for the seating, but he's been performing incredible. He might even be the best player in the world right now. I think that's crazy. But honestly, the one thing we're not talking about, the banned players, quasi-banned, getting seated very high for content. I think that might be a little bit questionable, and I think that in that regard, the seating might be a little bit.
Think about that. That's a left field.
Spicy.
I'm gonna
Cheat.
dodge it.
I think I actually think that it was kind of a problem. I think that Wheat got stuck in we're seeding summit mode now. And we're gonna seed these matchups here. We're gonna get creative with it. We're gonna do it a little bit for content. But in an open bracket tournament, I think you just gotta seed 1 through me, because then after that, who knows what the fuck it's supposed to be.
You think you're the barrier between seedable and unseedable?
Yeah, exactly. But also, if we were seeding for content and for new matchups and to avoid things, why did we see Mango Axe for the 3rd time in the past few months? Like, what are we doing here?
Those VODs of Mango versus Axe at every tournament in the past have gotten consistently more views than sometimes even winners finals do.
Yeah, nobody
That is
benefits
actual
from
content.
that. Listen, nobody benefits from that
that's
more than me.
crazy.
But I'm saying that you shouldn't do it.
Let me not
Why?
smoke the cheat, because I do want to point out that the cheat outplays CPU 0, and that's very powerful.
I did
But
do that.
I want to tell you a story, though, and this is why we need to think about this. Leffen goes down 2-1 versus the 37th seed Sunsei, I believe. I might be getting the numbers slightly incorrect. Does not make a comeback, does not close it out. Mango goes down 2-1 against the 39th seed, the same round. Last stock is up throw rested. Toussaint misses. Through a weird freak accident, Mango wins. In that alternate world, we're talking about Mango being washed again. This is the world that we come into. Now, there is a point to be made that we should be updating our seeding more accurately, more quickly than we used to. People are changing skill levels very quickly. But Leffen won the last super major that he entered. You have to give the player credit with a reasonable seed. And at this point, everyone from 1 through 8, there is a remarkable amount of parity. Is anyone trying to argue that AMSA should have been higher than the 8th seed? Maybe Mango was washed because Mango lost to a lower seed in grand finals. Maybe Mango was seeded too high. These are unknowable, difficult things to do. The best thing that you can do is give everyone a good shot at a fair bracket, and I think that was done at Big House.
Leffen did not win his last super major. He got 3rd at Evo in Guilty Gear.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to subtract points from you, Chroma, for lying.
I'm gonna be
2 points.
apoplectic.
I'm going to use one part of the other side of confirmation bias, which is the fact that 6 of the top 8 seeds made top 8. You know, they had the winners. 3 of the winners' quarters went to seed. It was 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, and 3 versus 6. So the seeding obviously at the top level is great. And so a conversation that I had with Jogga Guy after the tournament was over was how do you more, and to Chroma's point, how do you more accurately represent seeding at any given moment? And so LO is not the answer, but there is something that can be done on a rolling seeding basis and sticking to bucket seeding. I think bucket seeding needs to be a mainstay of any Smash tournament moving forward.
What's bucket seeding?
So bucket seeding is when you have tiers of players. So you could put like players 1 through 3, which I think I would do right now. I would put Zane, Mango, and Cody in the top tier. Then you have a bucket of maybe 3 more players like J-Mook, Hungrybox, you know.
You tell me we need tier lists for our seeding?
No. But it doesn't matter because then what you do is after you have those buckets, you randomize within those buckets. So you, instead of just having like, if you had a definitive number 4 and number 5, instead of them playing in winner's quarters every single time, you might get 4 versus 6, or 4 versus 7, or 5 versus 7. So it keeps the matchups fresh and also just continuously, again, builds a more robust picture of where people are at any given moment. So
and one more avenue for us to manufacture Axe versus Mango sets to get that sweet viewership.
You're not going to see, you know, the same sets every single tournament, which is a good thing.
Okay. All right, I hear you all. Let's move on to the next topic. We've heard his name creeping around the edges. Sunsei bursts out of the Canadian scene just across the street from the Big House to demolish Sweden specifically, really. What should we expect from Sunsei going forward, especially at Summit, which you just qualified for? Is he your Cocaine Fox of the Year? Let's start with The Cheat.
I think Josh Man probably still my Cocaine Fox of the Year, or at least the Lemon Drop in the Eye Fox of the Year. It achieves pretty much the same effect. But I do think that Sunsei strikes me as one of those players who's going to have a run at Summit where he beats someone that makes us say, God damn, and then ends up getting like 9th or 13th at the end of the day. But we all still feel really good about it, and I love those stories. I think this Summit's going to be very tough. It's probably one of the more tough Summits that there have been in history. And so maybe not a good placing, but he'll give us something to be happy about.
Is there an inverse correlation between Summit prize pool and the difficulty to win it?
No.
Not necessarily.
You can answer that question off the air. Anybody else want to take a crack at this topic?
Yeah. So I've been a big fan of Sunsei for a long time. I think he's been really kind of under the radar as he also self-prescribed Game 5 master. He's been so close to getting these like big wins for so long, and for him to get honestly the marquee win of his entire life against Leffen. Even if it's out of practice Leffen, it's still beating Leffen. So that's a huge win for him. And so if you look at some of his results as of late, like he had a pretty disappointing Gammel, but you know, he got 17th losing to AMSA. Like, that's no shame in that. You know, you got top 8 at BOBC4, lost to Gadoran. Like, these are top 10 players. And so I think that, is he going to get top 8 at Summit? I don't think so. I think he could very easily get like one of those heartbreaking 3-2 sets for 9th. That's where I most like, of the bell curve of possibilities, that is the most likely place for him. However, I agree with Mikey in that he's going to get, like, if they do Swiss or if they do round robin or whatever, he's going to get another marquee win, but he might get that marquee win and go 1 and 2, you know, in the pool or something like that.
Interesting. DarkGenex, what do you think?
Where he's at.
I think I agree that Sunsei has been very underrated. Right before the pandemic, he literally 6-0'd Moki in Revenge of the Six, but no one knew about it because it wasn't on stream or anything like that. He's had a pretty sparse year. Like, he's beaten, you know, NMW, he beat S2J, Lucky, and then, you know.
Wait, DarkGenex, are you doing this from memory? Do you have this in front of you, or is this from memory?
Partially. Revenge of the Six is not from memory.
Response will be pre-written. It's fine.
Point is, he has had moments of greatness, and I think that the main lesson that we can take from Melee this year, none of this is pre-written at least, the main lesson we can take from Melee this year is you can't expect anything. People will go crazy and have insane runs when you can't expect it. Just as Sunsei did at the Big House. I think that Summit will be a fantastic tournament for him as long as he can dodge J-God. And by that I mean J-Flex.
Oh.
Because I realized there were 2
Just to quickly add some off the top results, he is 2-0 against SJ this year. He beat him both.
Do you have a paper in front of you with this result?
No.
Is this from memory?
It's just 2 sets. He beat him at Battle BC, and he beat him at Big House. Obviously, getting a win over Pipsqueak at Big House is a great win.
There's 3 points on the line. Is that from memory, Fendy?
The 2 SJ sets, the Pipsqueak, yes.
Okay.
It's only 3 sets, and one of them, two of them just happened.
They happened last weekend.
They literally just happened.
Okay.
There's too much nerd stuff going on here. Sunsei was cracked, jack, and stacked, played fantastically, comboed monsters. You know, he is fantastic. He is not my Cocaine Fox of the year. Fantastic Cocaine Fox, not my Cocaine Fox of the year. Josh, man, everything you can want from a Cocaine Fox comes out of nowhere. Doesn't sleep before events, doesn't eat. He is not my Cocaine Fox of the year. My Cocaine Fox of the year is someone who everyone counted out, everyone thought couldn't modernize, and came out looking like a monster versus Zane, grabbing, shine up smash, everything happening. It is for the 17th year in a row. It is Mango. Mango is my Cocaine Fox of the year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mango Nash. We're getting through that purge. We're getting through that purge perfectly right now. Let's bring this to let's move on to the next topic. There's nothing more to say there. All right. Commentary this weekend had rave reviews. Toph and Scar put on an absolutely stellar performance, but I also noticed that there is a growing trend in commentary. Scar at Big House, Tuesday at Low Tier City, Alex19, all had Twitch chat open during their blocks in the past few events. I saw it. I heard them mention it. Do you think it's a good idea for me to see what people say about me in real time? For example, this comment, Jackzilla's the kind of guy who's lucky he's conventionally attractive because otherwise his life would be hell. Is this good for me to see live?
No, not at all. At most events. I will defend, however, Tuesday. Tuesday was at a side stream for crews, day 1 of a major. That's appropriate to have chat open.
He did it with me at the main bracket. What are you talking about?
Not Tuesday during the main. If he's doing it during the main, I take it back. Alex19 got into a fight with chat. That was a bad idea. That's just not what you want to be doing. Yeah. You want to be focused on the match and on the game, and not about you and the terrible things people will say about you once they know you're reading chat.
Take a step further, I don't think it should be anywhere near anything a regional or above. If you want to have it open early pools or early bracket at a local, feel free. It brought me a lot of pain to like have Alex sit there and bring it up, and you just be sitting there like looking at it instead of like watching the fucking game. Like that's the whole point. Is you don't want, it's like the psychological damage obviously is already enough. Like don't look at you saying, it sounds like Alex19 is reading his child to sleep. Like what is that going to do to you? Like it's not good. And so that's number 1. Psych damage number 1. Number 2 is again, you're missing out on critical components of what's actually happening in front of you. So you're going to be distracted.
What if it's between games, Fendy?
That's the person sitting right next to you. That's what you say. Hey, man, chug a bottle of water while I shill for pizza.
Having Twitch chat open to dogpile the people who don't know what they're talking about is horrible for mental health and completely distracts from what's going on the screen, 100%. But it is amazing content 40,000 people are going to watch you in a shouting match versus one moron in the chat who will never enter a tournament in their entire life. It is beautiful. It gets you TikTok views, Twitter views, gets your name more out there. It builds your brand and it shows your personality. It is amazing. I think it is great.
Has anybody watched one Hassan Piker stream? Just one. You would have known this.
Listen,
Cheat.
I'll say it. I thought it was great back when I was a wee baby boy commentator. So afraid of what people had to say about me. So concerned with pleasing those people in Twitch chat. I'm too good for it now. It's a crutch. If I'm looking at that to find content, that means that I'm not doing what I really should be doing, which is making people feel like they're in the venue with me. That's the feeling I'm trying to convey. That's what I want them to feel alongside me. And if I'm looking at Twitch chat, that means I'm trying to pull from people who I think are funnier than me to make content. And those people do not exist in Twitch chat.
And 90% of 90% of Twitch chat.
Chroma is sometimes in Twitch chat.
But they're gonna
You
be
know, if they're talking to me,
gonna
it's
be
okay.
shitters.
He's the only one. If Chroma wants to just DM me things throughout the set, then we can do that. But everyone else can fuck off.
I have gotten commentators to read heinous things because I just type it and they trust me. And then they read it aloud. And then they realize they have done something that has offended at least 7 religions. It's a mistake. DarkGenex is right. It is
What's
the
your
right
tier list
type
of religions
content.
you've offended?
Jesse's not funnier than me. Rachel's
the
not
setting
funnier than me.
advantage is really high.
Elliot's not funnier than me.
Mikey is biting content from chat.
Yahoo's
But just
not
finish it
funnier
off.
than me.
Are
Sheridan
you
not
looking
funnier
at
than
chat
me.
right now, Mikey?
It's the
Yeah,
right move for
absolutely.
content.
Based,
It's the
based,
wrong move
based.
for Melee.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next topic. Anybody have final thoughts on this? It's polarizing, and it seems like this is the one ring for commentators. Like everybody's saying, no. We definitely got to throw it into the Mount Doom. But after I put it on, it's really nice. It's a pretty ring.
So embarrassing to
okay.
see people like TK and EE like fucking pull up Twitch chat at top 8 at a major. It's just like, what do you do? Like, especially someone again like that prides himself on being funny. Like, you don't need to
Imagine how special it
to
feels for you to be in the chat and to know that there's a 1 out of 40,000 chance that TK and EE say your name. Have you thought about that, Fendy?
The
Also,
chance
about
probably
that.
you're probably being like, these dudes suck, and so you're just gonna get dunked on. Is that good for the chatters?
Over the past 2 weekends, Mango.
Jack, I have one thing to say.
Oh my God! Yes, go for it.
If E pulls up on Stewed again, it's not going to be in chat.
All right,
not
that
gonna be
is
in
too
chat.
deep of a cut for me to go backwards and give context for, so I'm subtracting points for distracting me from an obvious pivot to the next topic, which is over the past 2 weekends, Mango has schlumped HBox, Plup, IBDW, Zane, and Axe, but not Amsa. Is he your #1 seed right now? And what can he do to be #1 in the overall rankings by the end of the year? Let us start with our last place person right now, Fendrick Lamar.
So I think he is the #1 seed right now. I think the last 2+ months of Melee, he has been probably unquestionably the best player. I think the wins at LTC and SmashCon are huge. The second place at Big House, which is this second most stacked event of the year so far, is huge. I don't think #1 is possible for him to get. Even if he wins, he'd have to win Ludwig. He'd have to win whatever final he goes to, right? Or maybe a second one. I just don't think the resume for the body of the year is enough, considering how bad he was at the beginning of the year. You're forgetting that he was losing to players outside the top 10, outside the top 15. And if you look at the players around him, if you look at the other players' contention, that's Hungrybox, that's Zane, that's IBDW, they, outside of Slug, they don't lose to players outside of that elite cabal of players, right? They keep it within the top 10. And so that's a big difference for me. And I think if you were going to look over the entirety of the whole year, even that hot streak at the end, that 4 months where he's just blitz and #1 by far in that that trimester, his first 2 trimesters were really ugly. And I think that's just not enough to give it to me over someone like Zane or even HBox if they win one of the last events of the year. Just that's had a consistently good year throughout the entirety of 2022.
With
I
the
disagree on every
exception-
point.
Yeah, with the exception of the Fizzbugger loss, every single one of Mango's losses towards the beginning of the year ended up establishing themselves as a top 15 player. Additionally, almost every single person in that top 8 caliber of players right now, with the exception of Jmook, has losses or at least a loss to a player in the at least 11 to 15 range. Cody with Crudo, I mean Crudo's not even top 15 right now, but Crudo, Joshman, Zayn losing to Wally as an example. Or Hungrybox losing to KGH's Fox, and the Falco kind of pulling it down a little bit. But regardless, Mango's first trimester of Melee was not actually that bad. And I honestly think that if the Swooper wins every single tournament for the rest of the year, he gets ranked number 1. Mango definitely has a chance.
Oh, I love that. I love that. We got some hot.
We were talking about this at dinner the other night. I think if I win every tournament for the rest of the year, I'm ranked number 1.
That's right.
That's how it goes.
Oh my God, that's
all it is.
What are the tournaments left? What are the tournaments left?
One, Summit,
Panda.
Main Stage, Smash World Tour, Panda. If any person wins all 5 of those, that is the greatest run of all time.
I gotta say, you're not addressing the thing that Fendy was wrong about, which is that Mango is not the number 1 seed right now. The number 1 seed right now is the person who got second at Double Down, then went to Europe, actually made it to Europe, won there, did get 4th at Lost Tech City, but number 1 at the Big House 10, our biggest event of the year and our last event of the year, which is our most important event of the year right now. AMSA is my number 1 seed, just barely. I will give Mango 2. You must respect it. It goes. In my mind, I believe AMSA number 1, Mango number 2, I would be DW, I think about 3, and Zayn 4. J-Mook, maybe 7th right now is what I would say, but he definitely has a lot of opportunity to come back and is also the person with no bad losses. Nobody has really shit the bed so badly in the first half of the year that they could not dominate the second part and still be number 1.
Fendy, you've been attacked from every angle. You're looking like a fool. Defend yourself.
Let me make one thing very, very clear. And I'm going to start in reverse order because I think Jake's putting out content to try and score points for being wrong. Because AMSA's not your number 1 seed if you're going into Summit. He's not. He's not your number 1 seed going into Summit.
Look at his head-to-heads.
All right, so by that logic, do you think Mango should have been number 1 seed at Big House?
I may have messaged Wheat something that was not polite after a lot of people were complaining about the seating. I don't think he earned it.
We're putting out nonsense for points and it's all fun, but right now you cannot seed. You can't seed AMSA. I don't even put him at.
You're being such a sore loser. You're putting up nonsense for points. These are hot, great takes that are
Mango and AMSA
defended.
5
you can't just
days
say
ago,
I'm giving them
days
points.
Ago. What would happen? Maybe if they played twice, what would happen then?
You told us about bucket theory 10 minutes ago. Is AMSA not deserving of number 1 in the bucket?
AMSA wins that random match.
I think AMSA is in the 4. You could seed him 4th, maybe 5th.
And have a bucket that's a size 5?
I don't think you can seed him above Hungrybox. I don't think you can seed him above Zayn. I don't think you can seed him above Mango.
Okay, that's respectable. All right. Let's move on to the next one. It's Summit season again, and it looks like Mikey's cooked up another money-making scheme. Is the format still broken? Have the whales gone too far? Cheat! DarkGenex, I offer 15 points to the first person who admits that Beyond the Summit bribed you, DarkGenex, with a VIP spot in return for not running again or exacting shenanigans on the process.
You shut up, Justin. You shut the fuck up, or I send a man to your house right now.
Someone's already tried that.
That's right. I forgot to. I shouldn't have said that. That man is Fendrick Lamar, and he's gonna give you a big hug.
DarkGenex, how many VIP passes you get this time?
0.
That's not true.
That's not right. That's not right. He has one. He has one.
I said I bought 0.
Oh, okay.
You got a VIP pass. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, we gave one to everyone.
I'm holding your feet to the fire.
We gave one to everyone who got COVID.
Time.
We gave them to everybody who got COVID. Who else?
Josh, man.
Wait
a minute. Fendy is right here.
Fucked up. I got COVID. I did not get a VIP pass. I wasn't even approached. That's bullshit.
We'll get you next time. It's fine.
I had COVID from the novel
players.
This is a point bounty, not a point subtracting. So neither of them are gonna fess up.
And I'll do it again if it means I get points on Fourside Fights.
The promise is there. It happened. All right,
I really like the format this year. I had a good time. I think the condensed voting is really taking the stress off. People are making decisions very quickly about what to do. I like the idea that you have that voting pass and you have somewhat diminishing returns from increased money, and you're rewarded for coordinating because if you pay for other people's passes, at least you have some sort of campaign managing happening there. I do enjoy that. The one thing that I would change is that I believe I would have negative votes. I would make it possible to buy negative votes to take votes away from other people because I'm a hater. And it's spicy, and it's interesting to see people kind of knock down someone who has an insurmountable lead too early. I want to see if that makes things a little bit more lively as you have these dead zones before the voting where you're like, okay, well, Axe has this many votes. Can anyone really contest? Well, with a little collusion, maybe you could.
Very
So
fair.
I
is that-
really don't think the world wants to see a world where I take votes away from people instead of giving my champions more.
Oh, they'll never notice you.
Very double-edged sword.
Well, you know
They,
what? You
they
know
think
what?
it's
We
me.
see that.
Wait.
You know, they
Listen.
think I willed in Kadoran. They think I got him in. I didn't give him a dime. People will think crazy stuff.
So that's if
But
that's
you're
what
still
you want to
I didn't rig shit. I didn't rig shit.
Mikey, if BTS, because if you want to make more money, if you want to do Chroma's idea, that means that if you have a whale or whatever, would have to spend 3 times as much docking other players instead
That's
of boosting
right.
their champion. So
That's
it would
right.
then bring the prize pool up.
You
right?
could
But I
make a
think
negative vote more
I'm
expensive.
the
Yeah.
anti- I don't want to hate. I think I would not want to do that because I think that DarkGenex is right. I think that you should be rallying around the player that you support the most rather than trying to bring each other down.
If we do this, we are going to run out of Melee players to campaign. Is what's
No
going
one
to
is going to
happen.
run. The reason no one, like a lot of people didn't run for 13 because they felt burned out. They felt that the whales would overcome and win. That's why no one campaigned for 13 until I already got in and did my scheme. For 14, all the top players started campaigning again. No offense to anyone who ran for 13, but the skill level of the players who ran for 14 was significantly higher than the players who ran for 13. And you know what happened? A lot of the players who ran for 14 are now burned out or said they will never run again, or even
the
will
cycle.
drop out mid-run.
Here's
It's
the
a
deal.
cycle.
Let me give you a counter to this before Cheat. Nick Yingling, I think, generated the most hate votes of
I'm
any
goated.
summit. Oh, you're gonna say that? Go for it, Cheat. I'll give you the
I'm
points for it.
goated.
Go for it.
I'm goated. What can I say? That you can overcome all of this, actually, if you just believe in the power of friendship.
All
But
right.
I
Wait
think
a
actually-
second.
You know what?
Okay, the
Everybody
power
always
of friendship. You got
power-
a
Listen,
fucking
Here's
good
what you want me to lay it out
You
for
have
you.
to
Here's
get
what
in
we
day
did.
3, too.
Here's what we did. We pulled together all of our resources.
We
We
missed
gave away
twice,
frame
too.
ones. We gave away free Smash Camp. We gave away the Pepis Esports Twitter account, my pride and joy.
Oh man.
You can pool your community resources together, pull yourself up by your summit voting bootstraps, and make it fucking happen, and dunk all over Justin Cohen. Double tomahawk, triple windmill, 720 style.
All right, that sounds good. Let's move on to our next topic. The Ludwig. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. We're not at Ludwig yet. There's a consistent factor in the renewed strength players are having versus HBox. The presence of Puff main Palpa at majors. Who is the best anti-HBox fluffer of all time? Prince Abu or Palpa? Fendy, start us off.
It's Prince Abu. Tell me when Pablo gets flown out to Summit, and then I will, like, back in the day when it was not easy to get VIP passes, right? This is Armada shelling out his own money to bring Prince Abu to Summit. Pablo's not even close to that level. He's not even close to that level of being, like, brought out specifically for one player. And this is when it was peak HCOT, right? This is like, I have to focus on bringing out Prince Abu, and it was repeated, and it was clear that when Hungrybox was losing tournaments was when Prince Abu was giving Leffen, was giving Armada, was giving Mango the warm-up. And I think I wouldn't even get like maybe there's again confirmation bias that Pulp is the tournaments that Hungrybox doesn't win. I'll bring out two Saint before I brought out Palpa. I think there's two puffs or there's a puff right now that I would bring out before I brought out Palpa. But Prince Abu is, and Snowy 2 is another historical one. But Prince Abu is just completely on a different level in terms of puff fluffing than everybody else has ever been.
A man steps out from the shadows. He's had enough of the slander on this very show, even. He went 2-2 at the big house, and there's more fire than ever. The best practice for Hungrybox is CPU 0, baby. It's always been CPU 0. Nobody does it better than him. Nobody's going to hit you harder than CPU 0.
Exactly.
He is the puff warm up to the stars of the future.
This is
nobody
wrong.
can
Except
deny
Why
it.
fact,
CPU
that is
0?
wrong, though,
Chroma,
because-
tell me why it's not
Right.
CPU 0.
CPU 0 is too goated. He does things that
gonna
are
be at Summit.
impossible
Yeah.
for Juan to
Watch.
get his brain to do. It's not good practice. You're all thinking about this incorrectly on 2 points. Number one, beating HBox back when Armada was active. Okay, great. I can beat Ken in 2003. The meta has changed. Armada would not take any stocks on the setup with B-Bats and Musco God right now. Number 2, you're thinking too much about building yourself up. You need to break Hungry Box down. When I saw one of the San Diego Mars warming up with HBox before winter semis, I said, uh-oh, Kadoran is winning that. And guess what happened? Kadoran won it, and I have the logs to prove it. You need to de-warm up Hungry Box. Get Ringler out there Saturday night. Get that man so drunk he doesn't know what time it is the next day. That's how winning is done.
The one piss is
We lost to Amsa doing that.
Hungry Box at TwitchCon on Friday. He was literally at TwitchCon on Friday. And
Giving out chocolate milk.
And he still managed to get top 8. It doesn't matter what Hungry Box is doing.
He was
He
smoking on
only
shotty
loses
milk.
when he so chooses. The prophecy
loses
is
when-
always true.
The
Absolutely.
only real ones know about the Genesis 7 karaoke video.
I just don't know why Palpa was brought up as the puff. I mean, Palpa, like, very good player, don't get me wrong, but he's only been to tournaments in Texas, like, throughout the rest, like, most of the year. I'm pretty sure the whole year, actually.
Well, a lot
there
of
is
Armada
one-
fans really like win rate, and Palpa's success rate has been very high despite a low count. And I thought
But there is
that
a player who has a higher success rate amongst more tournaments. There is a player
Dawson.
who has been Dawson, exactly. Dawson
Oh.
is a player who wakes up on time. He is a player who does not spam CC against Spacey Drill and do nothing else like Faust. He is a player who does not have perfect reaction tech chase rests on lock that HBox will never do, like CPU Zero. He does not know all of the solo battle rest techniques. Those puffs, they're all goated. Dawson, also goated. But Dawson has the drive and the commitment to wake up early and find any player in the venue, DMing them on Twitter even. Hey, do you want puff warm up? I got you. And you know what? He does got them. Because guess who has not won a tournament with Dawson in attendance?
is it Wanda Biedma, Liquid's own.
It's the same thing with Prince Abu, because Prince Abu is a big house. Prince Abu went to one tournament this year. Hungry Box didn't win it.
Did he
Confirmation
really
last
go to
year.
Big
Prince
House?
Prince Abu
Yeah,
enter
Prince
double
was
down
there.
too.
I
Enter
was
double
there.
down too.
Did he flip anybody? Fendi. Did he flip a soul?
He did not on Sunday.
How dare you? How
I'm saying
dare
he was
you?
there. I'm just saying he was there.
He was also a
He's
double
there.
down. Look what happened to HBox there.
How dare you try to
If you
trick
zero
me
was
for
at all
points?
these
I
points.
was down to give you so many points for that. You were going to
Funny.
come from behind, and you lied to me. There is.
He didn't out.
We're moving on to the next
Prince Abu was
topic.
there,
You're
and
mute.
Hungry Box didn't win.
Where's my mute button? This is so sad. Okay. The Ludwig Invitational and the off season have some interesting format quirks. 5-round Swiss into a top 16 cut for Ludwig and waterfall pools for Optic. With such a tight race for rankings this year, who do you think benefits the most from these varying formats? I will unmute and allow Fendi to go first out of pity for the last place trailing performer today.
So I think there's two ways to look at this. I think the first way to look at this is who's the player that's going to get the most sets and will that's on the lower end of the seeding. That's just going to play a bunch of really, really good players and get better. So that would be someone like Pipsqueak. That'd be someone like Joshman. That'd be like those like 12 to 15-ish players. That'd be like Wizzy to warm up to get really like back in top level shape. That's one avenue. The other avenue is just the player to like win the tournament. It's the player with the highest floor. And for me, it's biased, but that's Zane. I think if you give him the opportunity to play more players, to get all these wins, he has the highest chance of beating anybody on any given day, in my opinion. So
It makes his head-to-heads look great at the end of the year.
Right. And so I think him doing Swiss at Lud, like he'll also be like one of the top seeds. So he'll beat a couple of the lower level seeded players first. He'll get the warm up in, and then he'll be able to rack up some extra wins on Hungry Box. He'll get more chances at IBDW and Mango, who have had his number recently. But it gives him, as you said, Jack, a chance to bring the head-to-heads back closer to where you would expect over the course of an entire year. So two possible answers to that. I think Zane, for the sake of just getting more wins on the players that he can, and quite frankly,
All right. You're repeating yourself. Somebody else. What do you got?
Me and Wizrobe. Our destinies are forever intertwined. Our legacies depend on each other now. And I think that he's going to speedrun this ranking period at Optic and Ludwig and Summit and start to get in some of these results. You know, we were kind of left wanting after. What
does that have to do with you? How is your destiny intertwined with him?
I mean, I picked him for Summit.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. we were kind of left a little bit wanting after Lost Tech City. You know, he had a decent run. He beat Axe. He made it to top 8. He got 5th. But, like, does he really have that dog in him? We're going to find out. And I think the answer is going to be yes. I think he's going to start cooking over these 2 tournaments.
Traditionally done very well at Optic events.
Yeah. With Stewed and Wobbles doing golf commentary. As we remember.
I love a good experiment. Chroma, DarkGenex, what do you think?
So we have actually kind of a tested answer here. There's somebody that benefits from a long, protracted series of matches before brackets and practice systems, and then domination of the actual bracket. And that is IBDW, your 2-time Summit champion. That is somebody who benefits intensely from this type of situation. He's able to lose a match, even 2 in this situation. As long as you win 3 before you lose 2, you will advance to top 16 on the cut. And I'm not sure if there's a winners and losers breakdown, but that's going to benefit somebody like Cody, who does do well in these situations. The second winner is me. I get to watch a lot of exciting Melee. I get to watch a lot of different streams at the same time, and everyone's at Ludwig Invitational. And as I tweeted, your girl messaged me saying that you were out of town for the Ludwig Invitational. You're worried about the wrong last chance, and I stand by that.
I'm gonna subtract points for shilling your own tweet. You already got the retweets. You already got the clout.
I was going to say, am I allowed to plug the Rick and Morty tweet if we're doing that?
Yeah, Rick and Morty, Rick and Morty, Rick and Morty. DarkGenex, what do you think?
I think that the idea of a player who can win the tournament gaining literally anything from Swiss is insane. MPHGR balladers do not care if they are having flawless records over the top 20, because those wins do not count for the top 10 head-to-head. They care about their top 10 head-to-heads and if they are not consistently losing to a bunch of people. If you are putting a Swiss format for the player who is winning the tournament, they run into a bunch of opportunities to play a bunch of different players. They become mortal and they can lose. They actually gain nothing from winning and everything from losing. And that's why the person who wins the tournament, any of the IBWs, the JMooks, the OMSs, the Mangos, the H-Boxes, the Zanes, they gain nothing from Swiss. You know who gains something from Swiss? Solo Battle. He has 0 data in the US. He is staying for some time as a VIP at Summit. He's going for the first time ever for Ludwig. He is going to have so many head-to-heads versus players of differing matchups that he has never played before and might never play again. This Swiss format might make Solo Battle Twitter's favorite labber and turn him into a top 30 forever player who people will go down in history as, wow, this is the second coming of Hungrybox. It is Solo Battle. He is tonight's champion. Well, next week's champion. But
anybody ever disagree with that on Solo Battle?
DarkGenex has tricked me for Melee stats reasons. Well played.
He's going to lose the CPU 0.
Like you are smoking crack.
All right, the head TO of the offseason has been reaching out to players asking if they want to take tequila shots before grand finals. Axe has verbally agreed. How much does this increase the stakes of the event? Let's start off with Fendrick Lamar again, our last place pundit.
I think it'll be fun. I think it's as long as both competitors are agreeing to it, and I see no reason why not. I think Axe and Nunn in particular are already having a good sport about it. Granted, if it were me and the difference, we always break these down as grand finals are like, $7,500 money matches or 60, in $6,000 money matches or whatever the difference between first and second is here. And I think for me personally, I wouldn't do it. But I think absolutely if the players are into it, they should be doing it. I think it's fun and it's a good way to like add a new twist in here. And I think that we could riff on that as a community and start doing other like fun little challenges, but only in the right tournament settings. I think that's another important thing. I would never, ever, ever want players to be forced to rip shots before Big House Grands, before Genesis Grands. I think there's just different levels to that.
You're a bit of a prohibitionist for sure. Yeah.
Let's see someone do a rail off the top of one of the 2 split CRTs if we really want to amp it up.
Now you're talking, Fendy. Now you're speaking my language. Okay. Anybody else have a response? The tequila shots before grand finals. How much do they increase the stakes of this event? Are we going to consider the winner more valid, more important than the winner of the Big House 10?
History will say yes, because content is king. And unfortunately, this event has been poorly advertised. Timed, unfortunately, as well, as it is the same time as DreamHack Rotterdam. And the average Melee player probably has no idea it's happening until it goes live on Twitch, or if it is even on Twitch at this point. Zets went viral off of a video with millions and millions of views of Plup dropping beer and spilling it all over his controller and breaking it. Imagine how many views you get historically on someone even just making grand finals while taking shots and using Pikachu.
DarkGenex, you are tapped into the Axe content machine. You have your finger on the pulse of the viewership that Pika brings home.
I think he's the number one Axe content person in this call right now.
Oh,
you should feel ashamed, Mikey.
Which is crazy. But I will say that I am actually the perfect person to come to for this as the founder and head TO of Smash Camp. I think we need to go even further. I think we need to do lemon drops in the eyes. I think we need to do a controller tossing contest. I think we need to do shoeies live on stage.
That's right.
We need to really amp it up a little bit if we're trying to get those content points and bring it away from the woods and into the arena where everyone can see it on TikTok.com.
Mikey, would you say that poses a potential risk to danger to the attendees of an event in terms of their...
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
I can't condone this. I can't condone this for one obvious reason a lot of people aren't talking about. Everyone gets way better at Melee after one shot. Mango wins at least 90% of his tournaments off the back of one or two or a couple shots. I've seen Armada drink. Mewtwo probably gets a lot more confident. If everyone is drinking before Grants, we end up with a situation just as bad as if we had macro for super long wave dashes in the game. I guess we already do have that. So I'm not really sure what to think. It is a very, very tricky slope that we're running down. Axe off of one shot. That's our number one seed for the rest of the year. Nobody can beat that.
Let's move on to our last topic. We're reaching very near the end. We obviously had a little bit of a delay in the middle of it, so I'm gonna try to keep us to that hour timer. PPMD has officially closed his Marth Q&A thread on Smashboards with post 21,387. Perhaps the greatest Smashboards poster of all time done. Is Patreon the replacement for this kind of interaction with top players? Metafy? Or using Discord as janky forums? What replaces Smashboards? Let's be quick. Let's go around and see what we got. Let's start with the cheat on this one, because I don't think going first has helped Fendy at all.
Can't be paywalled, right? As much as I want to see them get the bag, we need to have an open forum for discussion. Discord's adding a forums feature. I don't know how good it's going to be. They might shit the bed, but whatever it is, I think it needs to belong to the people. And so I feel like Discord is the way forward. Assuming we can't go back to Facebook, which I think we've all kind of shunned at this point. Rest in peace. It was very good.
Rest in peace. I do miss Mewtwo telling Ken to suck his dick on the MeleeItOnMe Facebook page. One of our great moments of all time. Also a pretty good for me era spot. My two ways of going are blogs and YouTube. Blogs for informative topics and conversations about the game. YouTube specifically for diss tracks against other players and saying that they are too ugly to live in California, which is not something that we've had in the Melee scene for a long time. We can bring it back.
Make diss tracks okay again. DarkGenex and Fendy, any thoughts?
You want top player interactions? You donate in their chat. Do you know the Parasocial Owen Tour spends $4.99 a month to pretend to be the top player's friend for just a couple of seconds? Maybe it's the highlight of the month. But either way, you want to ask them a question, you want to get their attention, they're live on Twitch to make your money. They will answer you. They have to answer you. They must answer you because that is how they keep you coming. And PPMD's thread, honestly, Sika's got a top Marth player Discord where all those questions get answered anyway. It lives on. Smashboard does not need it.
Bullshit.
Blur's not in there. That's a bullshit Discord.
I'm gonna tell.
We actually got mad. We got mad at Kadoran because Nintendo, Blur, and I are all not in there, and that broke my little heart.
But do you consider yourself a top Marth resource that new players should talk to?
No, I still think that I want to learn some stuff, and I want
to okay. Yeah, that's great.
The correct answer to what will replace Smashboards is nothing. Nothing will fill that perfect void that Smashboards had. Diss tracks, slurs, frame data.
What?
Are you kidding? You are not going to find that anywhere else. I'm just saying.
But you're reminiscing with this wistful tone as I'm giving you points, and you're seeing your point tick up, and then you say slurs, and I'm supposed to keep giving you points? This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. You're muted. You lose. All right, last topic. Today, Kadoran made it into Summit. Ralph, Magi, Eddie Mexico, Fizzwickle, and Sharp are still left. Who should the viewers vote in, and who should I spend my measly 100 votes on? Let's start with DarkGenex.
I mean, who do y'all want in? Smile.
Oh,
Shut
no.
the fuck up.
Oh, no.
My
Woo.
honest answer, my honest answer for who I think should get in, and it might be a little bit crazy. Honestly, I think it's Ralph. Ralph has low-key been putting up insanely crazy results in NorCal. Arguably my number one in NorCal right now. Might have lost to Godsko Chad, but Godsko Chad, one of the best players to ever touch a controller. But out of the entire field, I think Ralph has been very under the radar in comparison to a lot of the other players. And I think that he has the opportunity to show himself as, a potential top Pikachu threat as well as Spaceys. And NorCal, they have not really been on the map recently. They could use a dub. I'll give it to Ralph.
Oh, I'm NorCal now, so I should vote for Ralph. All right. Chroma, what do you think?
My Melee stats brain says Sharp. This is a player that does not get to go out to the States very much. Clearly goated with the sauce. You've seen those combos. You saw what Sharp did to Freezus. You saw Sharp hit the MS combo with the up smash. But I do have to say, as a longtime San Diego resident, Eddie Flexico has elevated his level of game through COVID to an incredible level, and its Smash Factor really showed it. Beat Lucky, beat S2J, back in that era where he could show up to an SSS and win. I think now is the time that he can show up to Summit and take a lot of names, and probably even possibly lift more than SFAT.
Okay, Fendrick Lamar.
So I think that anybody that hasn't been is up there. So that is no disrespect to Magi, who's a great player, but Magi has been to Summit before. So that leaves Eddie Mexico, Sharp, and Fizzwiggle. Fizzwiggle, longtime COD.
And Ralph.
And Ralph, sorry. Yeah, so 5 players. So that 4 out of the 5 have not been. So I would say, for me, I got to go with Eddie Mexico. I think it'd be so sick to see Eddie there. I think Chroma is correct that he has just been putting together a quietly good top 50, top 40, top 30 year. But also, historically, the dude has been pushing Luigi. Like, he's outlasted them all. He's outlasted Debate. He's outlasted Vudajin. He's the last one standing, and I think it would be a very fitting moment for him to get to go to his first summit. So my vote would be for Eddie Mexico.
That's a very good case. The Cheat. Who should we vote for in the summit? Summit employee?
The Fitnessgram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. The 20-meter pacer test will begin in 30 seconds. Line up at the start. The running speed starts slowly but gets faster each minute after you hear this signal. Beep. A single lap should be completed each time you hear the sound. Ding. Remember to run.
This is cowardice. You cannot reward this.
The second time you fail to complete a lap before the sound, your test is over. The test will begin on the word start. On your mark, get ready.
Rachel, log off so he can answer this question.
I don't know. I want to see how long he goes.
That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing.
Okay, now we run. Now we.
All right.
Oh, he's running. He's running. Oh, shit.
Wow. Okay. I like that. That's good.
I sure am fit.
Than I did on any of my
and agile. And
I
strong.
like that.
I'm losing points.
Oh, can I have some points at the end here? Okay. That is the last topic we have, and that leaves us. I'm going to call this 1-point gap a tie. I am now going to go to my tiebreaker.
It had to be us.
Between DarkGenex and The Cheat, although I will allow Chroma and Fendy to participate because I love chaos. What should be my net play tag for the next 2 weeks?
Let Fendy go last so he can think of the banger.
Okay, Fendy, you can go last because you're going to need all that time to think about how not to say something about how slurs are cool. The Cheat!
Oh my God, you're really worse.
Start us off.
Your tag is going to be Nick Yingling Depression Cure.
That does not fit in a net play tag because it is more than 15 characters.
Too bad. That's what it's going to be.
Wait, is it? Does it not fit? 1 second. I'm checking.
It definitely doesn't.
Not at all. Does not fit. No way.
Nope. Yep.
Okay, can I rework it?
Do you want Nick to be depressed?
You get one try. One extra try. This is not funny things to think of. This is a net play tag.
Nick's Zoloft.
No, I was going to say Yingling's Prozac.
Oh, okay. DarkGenex.
I would make it AMSA best of 5 in parentheses. Specifically, so you can make people who don't want to play Yoshi leave you immediately, make people frustrated by the people who are getting on and seeing another stupid Yoshi player trying to emulate AMSA. And maybe, just maybe, you run into AMSA himself and give him a little smile. AMSA best of 5.
Okay, that's pretty good. I played like 50 games of net play since Big House, and I haven't seen a Yoshi yet. Chroma?
Jack, how are you feeling lately? How are you doing?
I'm losing a lot in video games, and despite the fact that my personal relationships are at some of their most fulfilling points in my life, I still feel really sad when I lose.
You know what's worked before. You know the answer that I'm going to tell you, and you've moved, so we have to adjust it a little bit. When did you score best and feel best when you played Netplay?
When I changed my tag on Netplay from Jackzilla to Real Chroma East.
Real Chroma West. You know what you must do. And the first person who ran the Chroma 09 tag is now making a bunch of proselytization videos, so I really do need the win right now.
I'm going to say that you can't give Chroma the win off of my tag from last week that you didn't give the win.
What was the winner for last week?
You can't tell me what to do. Fendy. Sometimes I forget that you can't tell me what to do. Fendy, what's your last ditch effort here? You have a tag worth 36 points.
I have to try.
So let me ask, have you been playing mostly Samus?
No.
Okay. So that rules out the Samus-based ones that I was going to
It doesn't. I would just play more Samus.
I really like Yingling's Prozac. I think that's a good way to let him know that you got his back. No, I think Real Chroma West is the winner here.
All right. I'm going to go with Real Chroma West, but the cheat, you are right. You did bring it up in the last episode. I thank Chroma for resurrecting it, but you are the point leader by 1, so I'm going to give this episode's to thecheat.com as our winner.
You don't have to.
The 2-time.
You are
baby.
the winner.
Me and Doctor
Two times. Celebrate, everybody. Everybody pop off in the chat while DarkGenex, Chroma, and Fendy get ready to take their melee skills to Fourside for a free-for-all. Please stick with us as we get that Slippy set up so that you can watch our losing pundits fight in melee.
Jack,
we'll be back in just a minute.
Question. Is wobbling legal?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
It's legal.
You motherfucker.
It's legal.
Get us out of here.
All right, man. I
did
win. Jack, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but it's your space. You have to invite me in like a vampire.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're welcome here. You're welcome here anytime I win. You know, I want to talk to you. You know,
all right.
You're funny. You have good ideas, man. And I'm not just saying that to get more points in future Fourside Fights episodes.
It wouldn't work. I can't be bought.
It clearly does. I live in your head rent free. I know exactly how to push the buttons.
That's all right. That's called winning.
That's right.
How do you feel about this win? You got anything to shout out?
It feels hard earned, especially because me and Justin been beefing this. Not really. I knew it was gonna come down to us, though. You know.
How did you know?
So,
He was popping off. I actually almost feel a little bit like he got robbed, but you jogged and he didn't.
Oh, he definitely did. His brain is enormous.
Yeah, but he also was being a nerd, and for that I have to step in.
That's right. Yes, we do have to maintain some sort of Chad energy on a show that originated in sports.
Yeah,
of course.
How do you feel about Summit this season?
You know, we got some things to fix. I think our ideas were pretty good here.
Okay.
You helped. You helped a lot.
I would say I participated in the brainstorming. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think I think. Yeah. Sure. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
My
honestly,
consultant brain kicked in, and I'm like, I will take no responsibility for either success or failure of the things I'm involved with.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. Ultimately, I think long term we got to start doing some crazy stuff, though. You know,
that is my pitch. That is my pitch. What is going on here in this game? Who's gonna win?
It looks like Fendrick Lamar. Oh,
He's crushing
what do we do? They broke.
Wait, this is illegal.
Justin broke the rules. What do we do?
I've never seen. I don't know what I do. Can I get in there and DQ him?
This is unprecedented. Rachel says 10K per slot. It's
10
not a
pummel
bad
limit.
idea.
Okay, he's playing the technicalities as he does, as he is wont to do. You know how I found out about the 10 pummel limit?
What's that?
I looked at Twitch chat.
That's how it goes here.
Yeah.
You make the rules on this show, Jack.
Yeah. It's your idea.
It's all up to you. I guess it kind of was.
It was. That's what the people need to know. That's what I'm gonna say if I'm gonna shill you. This was all Mikey's idea. I never seen this show in my goddamn life. I had to watch like 50 episodes. I didn't watch 50 episodes, but I watched a lot of episodes.
You know how maybe we should make this like an advice segment.
Yeah.
You know how Phil last time was like mute your favorite players on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
My
What advice do you have to the viewers?
Get into sports. It's
Yeah?
exactly the same, and you'll love it.
This is Chroma versus Fendy.
A battle that just has a lot of hatred going on here. Two people I feel like who have opposite ideologies about the game of Melee, and Fendrick Lamar wins every time.
All right, let me unmute everybody. Let's get him back in here.
Who's the Phoenix Suns of Melee?
And the winner of the Fourside fight is
GG.
Fendick Lamar, the worst pundit, but the best Melee player of the remaining people. We have no idea how he steps to cheat.
I realized too late I needed Justin to wobble Fendy, and I messed up. That's
yeah,
my
we counted the pummels there. Justin was taking it real close to the legal limit. And then I realized that it was a technicality.
He's fine.
Yeah. That has been our show. Congratulations to the cheat, our winner and champion. Congratulations to Fendy for not embarrassing yourself on the sticks. We will see you in 2 weeks for our next episode. There is a whole bunch of Melee action that's going to go on between now and then, and so there'll be a lot to talk about when we see you again. Please help us promote the show. Follow these people on Twitter when you can find them, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for having me.